Yeah. And yeah, if it's stuffy, please switch on the aircon for them because it does get very stuffy.
Alright, let's watch the next video.
Okay.
He's in here. He's been sick since last night. He won't stop throwing up. We gotta get him to the hospital.
Alright, I'll call an ambulance.
Can't you help him hear me? That's why I called you. Oh, he's seizing.
Oh, another seizure.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Lieutenant Kelly Severide with the CFD. I need to roll an ambulance to
Can we pause here for a while?
Okay.
Okay.
Adult male.
We need to lower his temperature.
Okay, so in this shot, in this presentation of seizures, we could see that his eyes are actually rolled upwards, and that is actually something which is very common that we see a lot. Yeah, you know, it actually it's actually a good thing to take note of which direction as well the eyes is looking towards when if you can, because it can also signify a certain portion of the brain where the seizure activity is occurring. So for example, for instance, if the person is looking on the right side, you know, it could be that the seizure activity is occurring on that side, you know, or on the left side, it's on the other side. So it's very important to take note of the direction where they are looking at as well, and convey this information to the hospital. Yeah.
Yep. Good point.
Yep.
So it seems like he's been lying there for a while. And
Yeah.
he was sick for a while. Could be like
He's sweaty.
and
Maybe he's feverish, infection. And we see a lot of children, right? When they get infections, they get very high fever. They also get something we call febrile fits. Febrile fits, where you get fever due to, you get fits due to a fever.
Because of the high temperature, and then children, their head proportion is bigger, so the spread of the heat in the body mainly go to the head, so the child will go into fits.
Yeah. So that's very common for children. So the last thing you want for a child to have when they are having a fever is to have fits. So we always have to control that
The body
fever.
temperature.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So put sponge the child down.
Yeah.
Put some sponge over the armpit and groin area.
Yeah. The
and
neck
and
area.
the neck and the head, of course.
Exactly.
Sponge them down.
Sponge them down, exactly. Oh yeah, if we are going to sponge them down, do we use cold water or lukewarm water or warm water or hot water?
Of course, not hot water.
Definitely.
Hot water will cause more. Cold water, you might put them, cool them too much, then they go down into what they call it hypothermia. So whereby the temperature is too low. So I think normal tepid water temperature is fine.
Wonderful. And also, in the effect of using cold water, right, the child may start to shiver, and that's the last thing you want, because shivering is actually a defense mechanism of the body for it to generate more heat. So, you know, you're actually counterproductive when you're actually sponging with cold water. So even if you're sponging with tepid water, like tap water, always look out for shivering. So once the child starts to shiver or the person starts to shiver, you want to stop and let the person warm up again a little bit before you continue again. Right? Correct. Awesome. Hey, okay, I'm interested to know what's going to happen to him.
Turn his shirt off.
Grab washcloths, towels, anything you can find. Is he dying? Hurry up.
Now. Go and do it. Maybe it's fever, like what we talk about.
Could we pause here for a while? I think one of the things that I noticed here is that the female rescuer or the female first aider, she's being very assertive and very firm with her instructions. She saw the wife or the partner of that person who is having fits. She saw her, like, you know, asking questions or getting confused or getting stunned, and then she
panicking.
Yeah, she just puts her foot down and go get it now. You know, and that's very important as a first aider. Sometimes, you know, you don't want to be too demanding or, you know, overpowering, but you want to make sure you give very
clear, specific, concise instruction.
Exactly.
To sometimes it helps the person go into focus and get things done so that they won't be in this panic mode.
Exactly. And I like the fact that she is delegating tasks to the other person, to the partner, because you know, instead of her just standing there and going into more panic, she's keeping herself busy, knowing that she's also being part of the helping process.
Correct.
And that's good as well to delegate.
Yeah, delegate, utilize the people around you so that they can do things for you.
Yes, exactly. Cool. Okay, let's see what happens next. I saw some ice and things like that.
Yeah, I think we are right. Fever. Oh, CPR.
He stopped breathing.
Dad.
Oh, it's that. I'm sorry.
Here, come.
Ready? 2, 3.
Doing CPR.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it back.
Oh,
Okay, cool.
Paramedics? Yeah, I'm here.
pretty fast.
What happened? Withdrawing from opiates. He's running with fever. I tried to pull him down, but he's
I'm
not
assuming
breathing.
that she's also a
He's growing
paramedic
pulses.
then.
Yeah.
Since she knows the paramedic who just
Can we
walked
get a line
in.
in?
Can you spike a bag for me? Yeah.
Intubation.
Okay, this is an advanced procedure.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have actually secured his airway with a tube.
Yep.
We'll talk about that in a while. And they are using the back valve mask to ventilate him. So that,
Okay, he's stable. Let's get him in the amber.
alright, awesome.
Let's pause here.
Yep. So we could see that the person went into cardiac arrest. The paramedic who was in her civilian, that she started CPR immediately, and notice her instructions was immediately to put him on the floor and not to do it on the couch.
Correct.
Yeah. So do you know why? Could you share with us why that was the case, Edwin?
Yeah.
You would also do it on the floor rather than the couch?
Of course, that's what we advocate in our classes too.
Okay.
Is that when you need to do CPR, is to bring the casualty onto a flat, firm surface, so that when you do your chest compression, is effective. Is actually compressing the chest. If there's a cushion, then you know your compression
just like bouncing.
is just bouncing around. It's not effective at
Right,
all.
right.
Not only the couch, for example, the bed. It's not effective at all. So you need to bring the person down to a flat, firm surface. But that said, right, I know that sometimes when family members they couldn't bring the casualty down to the floor, so
Because they are alone, perhaps,
they're alone.
and they don't have the strength to pull them down.
yeah, correct. What I sometimes do as a paramedic too, previously, is that I can, if they're on a bed and there's a bed sheet, what we do is that we roll up the bed sheet beside the casualty, and then we will slowly pull the person down onto the floor and do CPR. So that's one point that you pick up. Very good.
Yep. And if we want to talk about what they do in the hospital, right? Sometimes you see the doctors doing CPR on the bed. You know, there's a mattress and the person is lying on the mattress and the doctor's doing CPR on the bed. So how is it effective? Actually, they have something called a CPR board, which they would slide under the person's back, or rather between the person's back and the mattress, right?
Mattress.
Yeah, and that would actually help to allow the chest to be compressed as well.
Correct.
So there's something that they use, before they actually start CPR.
Correct.
Yeah, so they could do that on the bed as well.
Yeah.
So I also noticed that when the paramedics came, the person, as usual, he recovers. So all they needed to do was to insert in a tube into the mouth. So could you share a little bit about that, Edwin?
Yeah, the tube is to put into the mouth, and the tube will eventually lands onto the lung. And then with that, right, the person will have direct air to go into the lung, so the person don't have to have any effort to breathe.
Right.
So that we're going to assist them to breathe.
Right.
Yeah.
And that device that they were using is called a back valve mask,
back
right?
valve mask.
So the back valve mask actually, so through the tube, you're actually directly pumping air from the back directly into the lungs, right?
Correct.
So there's 100% ventilation going into the
Correct,
lungs.
yeah.
Wonderful.
So maybe I can add on to that is that when you are doing, say for example, there's a cardiac arrest case, you call for ambulance. That is something real that can happen. That the ambulance will arrive to your house, and then there will be a lot of people in your house. All right, so they will be resuscitating the casualty and helping everybody out. So.
And there will be some of them who will be putting in the tube
in,
some of them
yeah.
doing some tubes on the arms and things like that.
So I think
It's like chaos, right?
Chaos,
a lot of things going on at the same time, yeah.
So it's good you can allow the medical team to do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
If you can assist them, for example, if they need to hold the infusion line or something like that, or they need to test something up, you can offer your help to help them out, right? So let them do their job.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And yeah, if it's stuffy, please switch on the aircon for them. Because it does get very stuffy and they're working and they'll be perspiring all over the place. So yeah, do your part, switch on the fans, turn on the aircon for them.
Correct. Yep. So this is a case of a person that might be having some form of infection and then go into a fits, and then after that go into cardiac arrest. Then CPR was done and revived.
Yeah. Is it true that a person who has a very bad infection, that it could lead to a fits and it could even lead to a cardiac arrest?
Depends on the person's condition. Maybe the person already got some medical condition, underlying medical condition that worsened.
Right.
That's what I presume.
Right,
Yeah,
like so it could be an infection of the heart, right?
Yeah.
And that could have caused the heart to stop as well.
Correct.
You know,
It
and
can
there's
be COVID also.
it could be COVID also. Don't say the C word. Okay, but and there's also cases whereby people with very bad infection, they actually go into a kind of shock.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And that's something we call septicemia or septic shock.
Septic
yeah,
shock.
and septic shock actually what happens is that all your blood vessels actually gets opened up. We call it dilated. So when that happens, your blood pressure drops. And systematically, I mean the whole system, your body system also can fail. Right?
System fail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Correct.
So those are some of the complications of having fever. So anytime you have a fever, don't always take it so lightly. Yeah, just pop 2 Panadol, I'll be okay tomorrow. Always monitor yourself. If you're not okay, go and see a doctor. You know, you might need some antibiotics or antiviral medication to help you to actually treat the fever, to treat the infection, the cause of infection. Whether it's a viral infection or it's a bacterial infection, you know, you may need additional medication for it.
Correct.
To control that infection from spreading throughout and causing a serious medical emergency like this, which can actually cause you to have a cardiac arrest.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this was a really good example. Thanks to our media team for this.
Yeah.
All right. You don't see this nowadays. Oh my goodness. He ran.
Suddenly just heart attack.